The moment Jungkook stopped the car letting Jimin know they reached, Jimin squealed so loudly looking outside the window at all the colorful lighting and Ferris wheel in the distance and whatnot. If you haven't guessed it yet, let me tell you. They were at the carnival. Jungkook had brought Jimin to a carnival that was happening in town at that time. What he didn't know was that it was the first time the carnival was happening at this time of the year, so Jimin was not at all aware of it. And he loves carnivals. So without wasting any more time, Jimin opened the door for the car from his side and ran out, making Jungkook rush out behind him as well. "Wait, Jimin!" Jungkook called out loudly, making Jimin turn around to face him impatiently. "What?" Jimin asked. "We need to get our tickets first," Jungkook said. "Right. Then what are we waiting for? Let's go," Jimin said, dragging Jungkook with him, not letting him speak another word. "But Jimin." "No buts, Jungkook, let's hurry," Jimin said, still dragging him to wherever he was going. "But the ticket counter is that way, not this way," Jungkook said, making Jimin stop and look at him. "Oh," Jimin said, embarrassed. But didn't want to let it show, so he continued. "And when were you going to tell me that?" Jimin sassed, even though he knew it was his fault, but in his defense, he got so excited. "You didn't even let me speak, so how could I?" Jungkook says. "Oh, hush now, let's forget it and hurry up. You need to lead the way, Jungkook," Jimin said, getting impatient again. He just didn't want to waste even a single minute standing outside the carnival, when there were so many fun things happening inside. Jungkook chuckles, shaking his head at the other's behavior. Jimin was being just too adorable for his heart. But he was loving and looking forward to every second of it. Soon they had gotten their ticket, and they made their way inside with Jimin squealing, looking at every single thing around. "What do you wanna do first?" Jungkook asked, looking at Jimin, smiling happily that the other was feeling so happy being here. "That one," Jimin exclaimed, pointing at one of the carousels that was not far away from them. It was just a random idea of his to take Jimin to the carnival when he got to know there was one happening in the town, as he was looking for places to take Jimin on dates. He had no idea Jimin loved this place so much, but he was happy he made the right choice by bringing the other here. Soon Jimin's hands were full of different types of stuffies and teddy bears. You see, Jungkook made his goal to win everything Jimin wanted from all the different kinds of game stalls he pointed at. No matter how many rounds it takes. Not that it took him to play too much. He is a golden matinee, of course. But yes, sometimes it did take him to try a few times. Though he did it without thinking twice, just to see Jimin jumping and squealing as he clapped in happiness when he won. They did ride a few rides in between here and there. Basically did everything Jimin wanted to, and for that Jimin was in utter bliss. And now they were discussing whether to ride the Ferris wheel first or to go eat first. "Let's go to the Ferris wheel first," Jimin exclaimed. "But Jiminy, wouldn't it be better to keep the Ferris wheel for the end? There is still so much we could still do, don't you think? Plus we have been going around for so long already. In my opinion, we should go eat something now," Jungkook replied. "I wanted to ride the Ferris wheel now, but you got a point there, we should keep it for the last." "But Jungkookie, I am not hungry either," Jimin whined, not wanting to stop his fun time to eat. After some time of going back and forth, they ended up buying a glass of drink for themselves and watching one of the shows that was happening there. Some more hours passed by with them enjoying the other rides they hadn't been on, with Jungkook winning more gifts for Jimin, and with Jimin finally agreeing to take a break and refill their energy by having some food. And now they were finally making their way to the Ferris wheel, as it was almost coming to the end of the day. Jimin was giggling happily as they got near to the Ferris wheel, holding onto Jungkook's arm. They got in line to ride the Ferris wheel. Jimin, being impatient, was jumping on his toes, making Jungkook chuckle as he shook his head at the other's behavior. "Relax, Jimin, our turn will come soon," Jungkook said. "I know, I just want to get on it already," Jimin replied, having his attention towards the Ferris wheel. Jungkook just chuckled at the other once more, letting him be as he wanted. Soon it was their turn. They got inside one of the cabins, with Jimin marveling at how it looked. They got settled inside facing each other, but all of Jimin's attention was on the outside, taking in the view that he didn't notice Jungkook sitting in front of him at all. Not that Jungkook minded, he was enjoying his view that was Jimin in front of him with sparkly eyes. Okay, maybe he minded a bit, but he wanted the other to enjoy however he wished to, so he didn't say anything. As they were reaching their full height, Jimin looked down, noticing the glass. he screeched, jumping on Jungkook's side, holding him for his dear life. What happened? Jungkook asked, not expecting Jimin to jump on him so suddenly. It's glass, Jimin said, pointing towards the floor. Yeah, did you just notice? It is all glass around us, Jungkook said, showing all around the cabin they were sitting in. Jimin nodded at first but cut himself off, screeching again, pulling himself closer to Jungkook as he realized that he was actually sitting in a glass globe. Are you scared? Jungkook asks, holding Jimin in his arms. Jimin nodded, looking at Jungkook with puppy eyes and a pout forming on his lips. True to be told, Jimin was scared of heights. He had never ridden a Ferris wheel in his life, and this was the first time. He has been to carnivals and amusement parks before, but he just never rode a Ferris wheel. Well, there was a reason behind it. He always wanted to ride it with his lover, been seeing how romantic it is shown in the dramas and movies, so he wanted to experience it all himself too. That's why he wanted to ride it so much today since he was here with Jungkook. He completely forgot about his fear of heights until he was up in the air looking down. It's okay, don't worry, I am here, I'll hold you till the ride ends, okay? Nothing will happen, it's all safe, Jungkook assured, adjusting Jimin in his arms as he held him more comfortably. Soon the ride came to an end, with Jimin rushing out of the cabin, making Jungkook laugh. Don't mind him, he did enjoy the ride, but he is still scared of heights. And with that, they ended their day and made their way back towards their car.